Hey everyone, my name is David Brodeur, but most people in the creative world know me as Brilly. I'm a digital artist, animator, and creative director. I've worked with global brands, major musicians, and created surreal 3D worlds that merge nature, technology, and imagination. I have started incorporating Blender into my workflow, and being able to utilize the render network as a part of that was a necessity. Blender cycles is powerful, but the more complex your scenes get, the longer the render times go up, especially when you're pushing realism, lighting, and the resolution to the next level. That's where the render network comes in. The render network is the leading GPU cloud rendering platform that's built to scale your 3D workflows with thousands of high-performance GPUs in the cloud. So it's fast, it's always available, and it's completely on demand. So think of it like this. You no longer need to wait hours or even days for your frames to finish rendering on your local machine. The render network brings near unlimited rendering power to Blender Cycles users at game-changing speeds and for a fraction of the cost of other render farms or even building your own GPU farm. I can speak to this because I have literally done both of those. I started using the render network during a project created with the 8-time Grammy-winning producer Scott Storch, and the results were immediate. Suddenly, what went from a job where I didn't think I'd be able to hit the deadline due to render times turned into a project where I had more time to focus on the art direction and visuals, all because of the render network. The kind of freedom totally changed my workflow. Since then, and a countless number of other projects, I've expanded to doing projects for the Las Vegas Sphere on the render network, utilizing the render network's power on the largest digital screen in the world. It's helped me hit insane deadlines, push my creative limits, scale up projects that just wouldn't have been possible before. It saved me money because I didn't need to invest in my own GPUs as much and could rely on the power of render. It's also allowed me to focus more on the art and less on waiting on render times. With the introduction of Blender Cycle on the render network, rendering your scenes has never been faster. Using the render network with Blender Cycles is very simple and easy to start. You upload your Blender file, set your parameters, and the job is distributed across the network. No need to mess with complex farm setups, just plug in and go. And now, I'm going to show you how simple it can be to submit your scenes from Blender to the render network. Let's go. Let's start off by preparing our file. Before uploading our scene to the render network, we will want to make sure that we save our Blender file with all of our assets. To do this, we go to File, External Data, and Pack Resources, and this embeds the external files like textures directly into the Blender file, making the project self-contained. And for faster uploads and submissions to the render network, it is also recommended to compress your Blender file into a .zip file. With our file packaged and ready, let's head over to our account on render.x.io. Once logged in, we will navigate to the Scenes tab. From here, you can click Select or drag and drop your .zip file to begin to upload your file. After your file uploads, you're able to select Create New Job. The next step I recommend is do a standard cross-check that what is set up from your file on the render network matches your Blender file. I also always recommend doing a test render before your full submission that has fewer frames or fewer samples so you can check that everything has been collected and is rendering properly. We will then set up our desired output format from the list available. Now, with your job settings in place, we will now move on to your desired render tier. You'll be able to select Tier 2, which is priority, or Tier 3, which is economy, depending on your needs. Tier 2 will render faster, but at a higher cost, and Tier 3 is best for budget-conscious rendering. Then select if you want to manually approve or pre-approve frames. If you select pre-approved frames, the system will immediately finalize and charge for each frame as it is finished rendering. If you choose to manually approve frames, you will have the chance to inspect the frames and approve or reject them before being charged. Then it's important to set the minimum node VRAM, and then choose from the options below. Now we will move on to the final section, which is the cost estimate. This will really help you estimate how much your render will cost. Use this to gauge your cost, as it's just an estimate and not a guarantee, but you'll get a really good range of what your job is going to cost once completed. And now you are ready to create your job. So now let's navigate over to the Jobs tab. Here you can view the status of your job and individual frames. So downloading your job. Once all of your frames have been rendered, you can click on the download button to begin downloading your final outputs. With the correct outputs enabled, click the green Download Selected Configuration button. If you have not yet installed the Render Network Manager app, you will be able to do so now. Click on the Download Desktop Manager app button, And here you'll be transferred over to the Render Network knowledge base where you can download the manager. Scroll down to the download section and select the correct option for your computer. Run the installation and return back to the Render Network page in your browser and select Retry Downloads. Now you will see the Desktop Manager pop up with your outputs downloading instantly. Once finished rendering, you can click the Go to Folder button to view your renders. And now you have officially used Blender Cycles on the Render Network. And to get you started, Render is offering €50 in free render credits. Just go to try.rendernetwork.com/get-started, head to the link that says create an account and log in at render.x.io and register a new account. And then head back to try.rendernetwork.com/get-started, enter your email address and click get my free €50 credit. So don't wait any longer. Try the Render Network today.